Welcome to West Pacific Watch, where we delve into matters of profound significance, events that shape nations, redraw strategic maps, and quietly redefine the balance of power in our region. Today we bring forth a historic development in the intertwined realms of diplomacy, defense, and international strategic cooperation. This is not breaking news in the conventional sense. There are no explosions, no sudden declarations of war, no dramatic press conferences filled with raised voices. Yet make no mistake, what we discuss today carries consequences that may echo across decades. This is a subject that demands focus, context, and careful contemplation. For those joining us for the first time, we invite you to be part of this growing community of informed observers. Hit the like button, subscribe to West Pacific Watch, and activate the notification bell so you never miss our in-depth analyses of the forces shaping the Indo-Pacific. Now, let us begin. Picture this scenario. In a quiet room in Tokyo, far from the glare of headlines, Japanese officials finalize a proposal unlike any the region has seen before. Not aid, not a donation, not a symbolic gesture, but a calculated strategic offer, one that blends military power, economic innovation, and long-term geopolitical intent. Japan extends an offer to the Philippines to acquire Mogami-class stealth frigates, among the most advanced surface combatants ever produced by Japanese shipyards. Yet what sets this offer apart goes far beyond the ships themselves. This is not a conventional arms deal. This is a new model, a test case, a potential blueprint for future defense cooperation across the West Pacific. Tonight, we dissect the intricacies of this unprecedented proposal and explore its far-reaching implications, not only for the Philippines, but for the entire Indo-Pacific strategic landscape. The Japanese government recently announced its intention to offer the sale of 2 Mogami-class frigates to the Philippine Navy. At first glance, this may appear as a standard defense transaction, one navy purchasing warships from another. But beneath the surface, this announcement represents a seismic shift in Japan's post-war defense posture. For decades, Japan's arms exports were heavily restricted, bound by constitutional pacifism and political caution. Today, those constraints are evolving, and the Philippines has emerged as a central partner in this new strategic era. Let us first understand what the Mogami-class frigate truly represents. These are multi-role next-generation warships, designed not for yesterday's conflicts, but for the complex, contested maritime battle spaces of the 21st century. With a length of approximately 155 meters, the Mogami-class balances size, stealth, and endurance. These vessels are capable of operating for up to 45 consecutive days at sea, a critical feature for nations tasked with defending vast maritime zones like the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The Mogami-class is engineered for 3 primary domains of naval warfare: anti-submarine warfare, ASW, anti-air warfare, AW, anti-surface warfare, ASUW. In an era where submarines silently prowl beneath disputed waters, where long-range missiles threaten from beyond the horizon, and where gray zone maritime confrontations have become routine, this tri-domain capability is no longer optional. It is essential. Advanced sonar systems, integrated combat management software, modern radar arrays, and missile launch systems transform the Mogami from a patrol vessel into a true area control platform. For the Philippine Navy, which has historically operated light frigates and patrol ships, this represents a dramatic leap in capability. Japan's offer does not exist in a vacuum. It arrives at a moment of escalating tension in the South China Sea. China's increasingly assertive territorial claims continue to challenge regional stability, international law, and the sovereignty of coastal states. The Philippines has been among the most directly affected. Within its exclusive economic zone, Filipino fishermen are harassed. Energy exploration projects are disrupted. Coast Guard and naval vessels face intimidation. Despite favorable international rulings, the reality on the water tells a harsher story. The Philippine Navy finds itself at a strategic crossroads. On one hand, it is tasked with defending one of the largest maritime domains in Southeast Asia. On the other, it operates with limited assets, aging platforms, and a modernization budget stretched across multiple priorities. Patrol ships alone are no longer enough. Presence without deterrence invites challenge. Advanced warships like the Mogami-class frigates could fundamentally alter this equation. They do not merely patrol, they signal resolve. They do not merely observe, they shape behavior. Now we arrive at the most intriguing aspect of this offer: Japan's innovative payment structure. Traditionally, arms deals follow a familiar pattern: lump sum payments, short-term defense loans, or expensive commercial financing. Japan proposes something radically different. Under the proposed arrangement, the Philippines would receive up to 30 years to pay, at a remarkably low 1% annual interest rate. In today's global financial environment, this is almost unheard of. Such terms rival, and in some cases surpass, development financing offered by international institutions. But Japan goes even further. Approximately 20% of the cost per frigate, around 100 million USD per vessel, can be paid not in cash, but in agricultural exports. Yes, rice, coffee, fruits, vegetables, and other Philippine agricultural products. These commodities would be valued at world market prices at the time of shipment, ensuring transparency and fairness. The remaining 80% would be repaid gradually over 3 decades under the low-interest credit scheme. For the Philippines, this model offers multiple strategic advantages: reduced upfront financial burden, strengthening of both defense and agriculture sectors, long-term budget predictability, access to advanced naval technology. Instead of draining national reserves, the country leverages its productive capacity. Defense spending becomes not just a cost, but part of an integrated national development strategy. Japan's motivations are equally strategic. This deal expands Japan's defense industrial footprint, strengthens alliances in Southeast Asia, counters growing Chinese influence, and supports Japanese agricultural and fisheries trade. Most importantly, it positions Japan as a security enabler, not a distant observer. If successful, this agreement could set a precedent. Other Indo-Pacific nations, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, even Pacific Island states, will be watching closely. A new paradigm in arms cooperation may be emerging: long-term financing, commodity integration, technology transfer, and strategic alignment without coercion. This stands in stark contrast to transactional, debt-heavy models seen elsewhere. No major proposal escapes scrutiny. Critics raise valid questions. Will a 30-year obligation strain future defense budgets? Can the Philippine Navy sustain such advanced platforms? Are training and logistics infrastructure sufficient? These are serious concerns. Modern warships are not just purchased, they are maintained, crewed, upgraded, and supported. Japan's commitment to technology transfer may address many of these doubts. Local maintenance capabilities, training programs, and potential industrial participation could significantly reduce long-term costs. More importantly, they build sovereign capability, not dependency. This is not just about ships. It is about trust, about shared interests, about a regional order where cooperation replaces intimidation. Japan's offer signals a quiet but profound shift, from restraint to responsibility, from isolation to engagement, from symbolism to substance. As we conclude this deep dive, you have now been immersed in the full scope of Japan's proposed Mogami-class frigate deal with the Philippines. A deal defined not only by steel and firepower, but by innovation, partnership, and long-term strategic vision. What does this mean for the future of maritime security in the West Pacific? Will this model reshape how nations build deterrence? Will it strengthen stability or provoke new tensions? These are the questions we will continue to explore. We want to hear from you. What is your take on Japan's game-changing offer? Is this the future of defense cooperation, or a risky experiment? Acquiring advanced warships is only the first chapter. The true test begins after the flags are raised and the hulls enter service. For the Philippine Navy, the integration of Mogami-class frigates would require a systemic transformation, not merely an addition to the fleet. These vessels are not designed to operate in isolation. They are meant to function as command nodes, coordinating aircraft, drones, submarines, and surface vessels within a networked battle space. This implies a shift away from platform-centric thinking towards system-of-systems warfare. A Mogami-class frigate does not just see farther, it connects farther. At the heart of every advanced warship is not steel or silicon, but people. Highly trained officers, skilled engineers, combat system operators, and damage control specialists. The Mogami-class operates with a reduced crew, thanks to automation and advanced systems. But this does not simplify the challenge, it intensifies it. Each sailor must master multiple roles. Each decision carries greater weight. Japan's involvement in crew training and doctrine transfer would therefore be indispensable. This is where the offer quietly deepens. Not just ships, but knowledge. Not just hardware, but institutional learning. Over time, this could elevate the Philippine Navy's operational culture, aligning it more closely with advanced maritime forces across the Indo-Pacific. Critics often point to sustainment as the Achilles heel of naval modernization, and they are not wrong. Modern warships demand precision maintenance, software updates, spare parts availability, secure supply chains. Japan's industrial reliability and reputation for life cycle support offer a significant advantage here. If structured correctly, maintenance hubs in the Philippines could reduce dependence on overseas dockyards. This opens the door to local shipyard participation, skills development, and even future co-production. Defense spending, once again, becomes an investment rather than a drain. With Mogami-class frigates in service, the Philippine Navy's posture would change fundamentally. No longer reactive, no longer symbolic. Instead, persistent presence, credible deterrence, escalation control. These ships would allow the Philippines to patrol deeper into its EEZ, remain on station longer, and respond faster to maritime incidents. More importantly, they would alter the calculations of potential adversaries. Gray zone tactics rely on ambiguity, hesitation, and the absence of credible response. Advanced frigates collapse that ambiguity. Defense acquisitions send messages, sometimes louder than official statements. Japan's offer sends a clear signal: Tokyo is willing to back partners materially, not just diplomatically, not just rhetorically. For the Philippines, acceptance of this deal would signal strategic seriousness, long-term alignment, commitment to maritime defense. Other regional actors will notice. So will those beyond the region. While unspoken, China is the silent audience to this entire development. Beijing will analyze the financing model. The technology transfer? The precedent it sets. This is not escalation, but it is counterbalance. A reminder that the Indo-Pacific is not a vacuum, and unilateral dominance will be met not with confrontation, but with cooperation. Imagine the year is 2035. 2 Mogami-class frigates operate alongside modernized Philippine vessels. They conduct joint patrols, participate in multinational exercises, serve as flagships in humanitarian and disaster response missions. Young Filipino officers trained on advanced systems now lead task groups with confidence. The Philippine Navy is no longer described as developing, but as credible. That future does not arrive overnight, but it begins with decisions made today. There is also a domestic dimension. Defense policy is inseparable from public trust. A financing scheme that supports farmers, expands exports, avoids sudden fiscal shocks, helps build political sustainability. Modernization survives election cycles only when it aligns with national interests beyond defense. Japan's proposal appears designed with this reality in mind. Let us be clear, this is still an experiment. No other major arms deal has blended long-term credit, ultra-low interest, commodity exchange, technology transfer on this scale. Success would reshape norms, failure would caution others. That is why this deal matters far beyond 2 ships. History does not always announce itself with thunder. Sometimes it arrives as a contract draft, a financing clause, a shipyard schedule. Japan's offer to the Philippines may one day be remembered as one of those moments. A moment when the rules changed. This is West Pacific Watch. We don't chase headlines. We examine forces beneath them. If you value this kind of deep strategic analysis, like the video, subscribe, share it with others who care about the future of our region. More episodes are coming, each exploring the decisions shaping the balance of power in the West Pacific. Until then, stay informed, stay vigilant, stay ahead.